Since January 2024, the media has been saturated with publications from different groups that disseminate falsehoods about the pipeline surveillance contract granted by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, to various companies, most notably Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, PINL. Recently, there has been a renewed spate of propaganda, falsehood, blackmail, mudslinging, character assassination, and malicious damage by different groups sponsored by what we will refer to as agents of darkness against the person of His Majesty Ogiame Atuwashe III, CFR, Olu of Warri, and Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited over pipeline surveillance contracts. Ordinarily, we could have ignored the continuous diatribes as they are not worth the time. However, considering the continuous falsehood and the pin drop silence from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited since January 2024, we have decided to react by separating facts from fiction, as silence, they say, means consent. It will be recalled that sometime in the third week of January 2024, a faceless group, the Niger Data Forum for Truth and Justice, published an article that cast aspersions on the integrity of the Executive Vice President upstream of the NNPCL, Mrs. Oritsetimeyin Edema, over ethnic bias in the renewal of pipeline surveillance contracts. It went further to denigrate the sacred ancient throne of the Olu of Warri by maligning His Majesty Ogiame Atuwashe III, CFR, the Olu of Warri, and a company he has vested his interest in, Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, accusing them of incompetence in discharge of their duties. This tirade of accusation went on until around March 2024 and cooled off until recently when a new group, Niger Data Stakeholders Forum, came up with another set of lies, falsehood, blackmail, spurious allegations, and character assassination, not only against His Majesty Ogiame Atuwashe III, CFR, the Olu of Warri, but also against PINL over pipeline surveillance contracts, especially on the Trans-Forcados Pipeline. Although we are not the management of Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, we realize that as critical stakeholders in the Nigerian oil and gas industry, with approximately 33% of Nigeria's daily production, it will be foolhardy not to put the facts before the public as they are and separate facts from fiction, especially as the Itsekiri nation owns at least 70% of the TFP. It may be important for me to emphasize that as at today, the Itsekiri nation of Warri Kingdom is the highest and richest kingdom in Nigeria. Our daily production quantum is at par with what the United Kingdom produces daily. Is at par with Indonesia, Egypt, India, Azerbaijan, etc. We are producing more than countries like Ecuador and Australia. And this kingdom, like we said earlier, is under the overlordship of His Majesty Ogiame Atuwashe III, CFR. So I will say we deserve some respect. The Trans-Forcados Pipeline is one of the largest trunk lines in Nigeria and is often referred to as inside the western trunk line geographically. Pipeline surveillance of the TFP began around 2019 when the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, now NEPL, awarded a contract to Ocean Marine Solutions to provide surveillance and maintenance services on the TFP due to emerging threats from third-party interference and weak material integrity of the pipeline, which sadly put the terminal recovery factor of the TFP at an alarming low level of around 35 to 45%. It will interest us to know that OMS is the pioneer maritime security company in Nigeria and has been in operations since 2008. It was in charge of offshore facilities, FPSOs, platforms, rigs, and other offshore assets. Due to the excellent performance of OMS in their job offshore, as affirmed by different IOCs, their scope was extended into offshore and swamp. Due to emerging threats, OMS took over the TFP in 2019, and within the first 6 months of when OMS came on board the TFP, with rare display of tenacity, efficiency, and rare camaraderie, they improved the terminal recovery factor of the TFP from 35% to between 90% to 100%. These facts are verifiable. This rare feat not only drastically improved crude oil export for Nigeria, but also led to Delta State becoming the #1 oil producing state in Nigeria till date. Since 2019, OMS has maintained an effective workforce of over 1,500,000 community workers in protecting the TFP. This is aside from other stakeholders' interests and community contractors, including corporate social responsibilities. Sometime in 2022, it was found that the Trans-Niger Pipeline and other lines aside the TFP were not operational and totally down. The NNPCL then decided to replicate the success of OMS of the TFP model on other pipelines across Nigeria. And then they engaged non-state actors. This was what brought the non-state actors on board due to NNPC intervention. As of today, the TFP runs at a maximum terminal recovery factor of at least 95% daily. This is also verifiable. You can ask the JV partners. TFP is operated by Shoreline and Heritage Oil. Their office is just less than a kilometer from where we are. We begin to wonder how and where the new faceless group, known as the Niger Delta Stakeholders Forum, came about with accusations of incompetence and non-performance made against Pipeline Infrastructures Nigeria Limited in the handling of Trans-Forcados Pipeline's network system, surveillance and contract, which they also claimed led to the termination of the $3.9 million monthly contract by the NNPCL. It should be noted that Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited is not the contractor on the TFP, but the job was novated to them by a sister company, OMS. According to the faceless NDSF group, the same accusations of negligence, dereliction of duty, and incompetence are being leveled against the same company in the handling of new contracts. In conclusion, we implore the public to be wary of those who peddle falsehoods and unsubstantiated allegations. We also call on the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to speak up and clarify the situation to the public. It is crucial that we separate facts from fiction and ensure that the truths prevail. Thank you very much. My name is Collins Oritsetimeyin Edema, representative of the Olu of Warri and Liaison to the NNPC. Thank you very much.